Good evening, everybody. This is Elihu speaking,
This is Peter.
and you're listening to Pineapple Chunks today. On this lovely evening, we're going to skim over some of the current events happening today. I'm going to start off with semiconductors. We have an increased demand and a shortage of key parts like semiconductors are causing shoppers to find fewer options when they visit dealership lots. Interesting. So compared to the 2000 year, the 2020 year, automobiles had 40% semiconductor implementation compared to 18% back in the 20,000 decade. Astounding.
Investable.
What are some good stocks in semiconductors? I know Nvidia, they're pretty hip on the semiconductors.
We have AMD.
AMD, yes, I've heard of AMD.
I think NVIDIA might be the better play. They have the vast majority of partnerships available now.
Yeah, there's also Intel, but I've heard Intel's in murky waters right now.
Intel, yes, they've fallen on some bad fruit, haven't they?
Interestingly enough, the semiconductor demand is increasing because the COVID pandemic caused a shortage of demand for automobiles, but the V-shaped recovery curve is very steep and very rapid in its recovery.
Yes, Biden was asked a question. So what are you going to do about all these microchips, the shortage of chips? And he said, chips? We'll get all the chips you need.
As long as there's dip.
Come on, man. It's just chips. You can just make more.
So semiconductors, once the demand increases, the supply must also increase. Otherwise, production slows down. Automobile manufacturing slows down. Computers, phones, anything you can think of with tech slows down. A huge issue, yes. Some investment opportunities. We mentioned some stocks. But that's really all you really can do unless you start your own semiconductor business. But that's highly unlikely. The market share is already taken up by big players. Wouldn't advise.
And at these exorbitantly high prices, it seems that the bull market has widened. The run must continue throughout the summer days, as the Spanish call it, verano. Those Spanish. They really know how to really speak a language.
One thing they don't know, though, is about Doge.
Doge, yes.
Dogecoin, yes. The currency of Mars.
Progressively amplifying its gains. Devaluing the dollar every day it rises.
Out of 40 billion or 50 billion? Out of 50 billion market cap.
Yes, indeed.
Dogecoin has earned its place in the top 5 cryptocurrencies of the world. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Ripple, and now Dogecoin.
Yes, indeed.
Astounding.
Man, what are we going to do? The
meme.
GDP is set to soar, as we've seen, as the market has.
The GDP is not a meme. The GDP is very real.
It might as well be.
And a really good indicator of the success and growth of our country.
But it appears as though, according to this Wall Street Journal article, that it's outpacing employment. It seems as such that employers are looking for new people, but they're hiring at a less faster rate. And at the same token, the 25-year-olds and 54-year-olds of this nation, we have around 1.9 million workers who have decided to not participate.
Lazy. This generation is just lazy.
Fruitless.
What are we gonna do? Stagflation? Is that what I smell?
It's a whiff of stagflation when you start seeing gas prices go to exorbitantly high levels. What is the premium gas rate? I don't know the regular kind.
I just paid $3 a gallon to get over here. If you don't know anything about
Wretched.
stagflation, we actually covered it on the episode. It's one of our first videos. If you want to go check it out,
First episode,
support the show, leave a comment. Thank you. There was a crash today, not just in the stock market,
Yes, it did put a dent in my wallet, didn't it?
but Tesla, one of its cars crashed and burned up in flames, leaving 2 dead.
Poor things.
They're blaming it on the autonomous feature, the self-driving functionality.
But Elon Musk did come out quite quickly and dispute this.
Very
This
apparent on Twitter.
Very much so.
He quickly addressed it. He said in the logs that the autonomy functionality was not turned on during the crash. So all false claims were justified, not justified. An unfortunate incident causing the stock itself to crash. But in moments like these, me and Peter would like to reiterate that you will lose money if you follow our advice. And our advice right now is to buy the dip, because Tesla will make a comeback.
Yes, buy the dip. Buy the mother frickin' dip. And Elon Musk, all I have to say to you, my friend, out of all the things that one man could say to another, fine gentleman.
Shout out to his family.
And that's all. That's all really I have to say to that. That's all I have to say to that. God bless the family. And shout out to their family. It's unfortunate that these accidents happen. But thankfully we have Dogecoin to lean on.
A good hedge against inflation, low risk.
And on the bright side, more than half of Americans have been vaccinated, which is quite the positive. Comment below if you're part of the Pfizer, Moderna, or the unfortunate few, the Johnson & Johnson types. Hopefully those blood clots don't hit you.
Run it back, run it back.
Turbo?
We gotta run it back.
Yes. We'll run this back.
Oh, good heavens. You okay?
U.S.-China vow to cooperate on climate. So, the U.S. and China have decided to agree on something besides trade, because that's one thing they cannot agree on. But the envoy says talks, which come amid tensions between the countries, were productive. The U.S. and China, the world's 2 biggest emitters of greenhouse gases. I say China does far more than we do, but still. Biggest players, largest economies in the world.
But very gassy.
Very gassy.
They eat a lot of beans. Yes, they
Very
do.
gassy.
It's actually very incorporated in their diets. They eat a lot of beans.
What is the first time China has joined in saying it's a crisis? They finally admitted it.
You know, the U.S. and China feud has been, to say the least, despicable. But I'm glad they're coming to agreement for something of the betterment of the world and the betterment of the economy, especially for green stocks. Some really good green stocks I think would be smart to get into. Tesla.
Or an ETF, one that you can disperse your resources in.
Right.
I believe
An ETF, an exchange-traded
fund.
fund.
Yes, there's a wide variety of them that are quite good.
You can say they're very fun to get into.
Oh, yes. The solar ETF is a good one. I definitely, but you really, if the best one we could ever say is Tesla.
So buy the dip, ladies and gentlemen.
They also, if you don't know already, they do participate in the solar panel divisions. And it's unfortunate oil continues to rise, but that is not a product of the climate change disaster. It's a product of inflation.
It's not a product of the future, it is a product of the present. And in an insightful society, we know where we want to put our money in.
Yes.
And that's Dogecoin. Regulator warns of Peloton product risk. So word on the street is Peloton products are hurting children and animals.
Poor children. Poor child.
Peloton's getting a lot of hate for this, but really all electrical bike companies do the same. Peloton, however, is the biggest, the baddest in the game. So of course, they're going to get a lot of hate.
Peloton is down quite a substantial bit from its peak of around $145, $150 a share. Now they're at 108, maybe 105. Now, it's unfortunate to profit from the lives lost. However,
I don't think anyone died with Peloton.
there was a child who died.
Oh,
There was a young child who did die because of the Peloton bike.
that's actually quite tragic.
It's very tragic. A life lost. But they're still a fantastic company that has a long runway to go. You know, shout out to the family who lost a child. But we're here. Our policies, our morals, our ethics lie in the green, in the money. So these are great opportunities to buy fantastic companies. We see Peloton hitting the highest ranks of the fitness world, especially in the remote way of living. Why not?
There's a lot of money in Peloton. It's not going anywhere.
No,
So-
it's not.
It's at a discount right now. And just like Tesla, I suggest you buy the dip. Not financial advice. You will lose all your money, unfortunately. But
Especially if you decide to invest in the WeWork IPO. Just saying.
oh, they're IPOing, really?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's right. We covered it on the show.
Yes, we did. If you check out our last episode, we did discuss this. But however, it does just emit echoes of the horrid overvaluation that it obtained.
And the competition that it has.
Yes, amongst
well.
all the other commercial companies that have leases on buildings that now are also participating in the shared workspace, renting out their offices that are in the vast majority empty because most of their employees do not want to go back to the office. So they rent out to entrepreneurs,
It's tragic, really.
young podcasters like ourselves, or any other companies.
It says here a platform is filing for direct listing. Oh, it's a company called Squarespace. I guess a space for squares.
Oh, the website design company.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
They
I like
provide
that company.
tools for consumers and businesses to create websites and online stores. Oh, that's kind of nice of them. They're adding gas to the tank of the gig economy, it seems.
Yes, now we have Wix, another website company, Squarespace, the one that's about to go public, and Shopify. Quite the
Wow.
competition. Quite
Indeed.
the competition.
Indeed. Well, I think that's about all I've got. How about you, Peter?
All I can really think of is how the 20th century is going to be much better than the past year. The next 10 years are going to be much more positive. You know, we see much more vaccinations. We see a greater expansion in the economic pie. Less employment, granted, but those with access to credit, those who are financially savvy, will benefit. But everyone will have a roof over their head thanks to Joe Biden. He will assure that no one is left behind. And I think it's a great bet to bet on America. So if you don't know or care for any of the things we've said today, buy the S&P 500, secure your money. And none of this is a recommendation because, well, anything can become like a Carlos situation. So we don't want that. And for any of you who've made exorbitant gains in Dogecoin, I'm sure you've already heard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Just if it's life-changing amounts of money, like $100,000, go buy real estate, just like we are. We're buying real estate. So
Or at least take out your initial investment. It's a really risky play right now. You really just don't want to be in it.
No, you do not.
And I think that concludes the show today.
And so when no one believes in the future, that's an opportunity. When everyone does, sell. Thank you very much. And God bless America.
And to all, a good day.